Westworld, Episode 6.5, Residuals, written by Brenda E. Kelly. Note that the events of this episode take place in Season 1 in between Episodes 6 and 7. Interior Banquet Hall, Mesa Hub, Day. Dr. Robert Ford stands awkwardly in his tux at the entrance of an elaborate dining room. A crowd of equally well-dressed stakeholders are seated. Theresa Cullen stands at a podium.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Delos Destinations Incorporated, welcome to the annual Stakeholders Retreat. The growth and future of Delos is due in no small part to your continued support. This retreat is our way of saying thank you. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our company founder, the visionary, Dr. Robert Ford.
Ford moves through the banquet hall, shaking hands with stakeholders. He takes Theresa's place at the podium.
Thank you, Theresa. Theresa Cullen, Head of Quality Assurance.
The audience applauds.
Our dedicated creative staff has worked tirelessly to develop new storylines and encounters. My colleagues might refer to them as revenue streams.
The stockholders laugh. A cell phone in the audience goes off. It is the man in black's. He looks down at his phone's screen, his face an expression of shock and horror.
But it all starts with a creative spark and ends with the tenacity to see it through to the development life cycle.
Another cell phone dings, a notification. Another, a few more.
Throughout the week, I have the privilege of sharing with you the fruits of our labors. New narratives and characters, and of course, you shall have the chance to explore and enjoy all the park has to offer.
A few people, visibly upset, leave the room. Quickly, Ford raises a glass.
Won't you join me in a toast? To Delos, to the park, and to you, dear friends. There are more things in heaven and earth that are dreamt of in your philosophy. Cheers.
Everyone toasts, except the man in black, frozen in place. End teaser. Act 1. Exterior, Main Street, Sweetwater, morning. We follow Maeve as she makes her way down Main Street. A snake oil salesman hawks his wares on a makeshift stage. She slows to listen to his pitch.
Now this elixir is imported from Cathay, made from the Chinese water snake and American rattlesnake. It is proven to cure headaches, toothaches, muscle aches, syphilis.
He tips his hat to Maeve. She gives him a wry smile.
Scarlet fever, depression, feminine hysteria, and unpleasant disposition.
He's interrupted by a young man, 20s, on a makeshift crutch.
Can it help my leg? I've been lame since I was a boy.
Step right up, young man. Folks, we might be able to witness a miracle this very day. One I have witnessed many times before.
The young man takes the bottle from the salesman and drinks. He chokes and slips to the ground. The crowd gathers around him and helps him to his feet.
How do you feel, son?
The young man tests his leg with his weight. It holds. He whoops in excitement, runs, jumps, and twirls a girl around, pulling her into a dance with him.
I can walk. I can walk like I'm a normal boy. Hey, look, I'm dancing. This ain't real. Am I dreaming?
No, son. That's just the power of Chinese snake oil. It works miracles at only $4 an ounce.
The crowd surges to the stage. Fists full of dollars are shoved towards the salesman. Maeve walks away from the display and makes her way to the Mariposa Saloon. Maeve pushes the swinging doors open as she enters. The player piano rolls out a tune. Some of the guests and hosts play poker at tables. Maeve joins Clementine at the bar. Clem hands Maeve a shot as she yawns.
Morning, Maeve.
No rest for the wicked?
No, ma'am, not today.
Good girl.
They toast and slam the shot. The doors swing open. Marcus, 40s, enters and bellies up to the bar. He wears a bowler hat, suit jacket, vest, and tie.
Marcus, right good to see you, sir.
Good to be seen, old friend.
The two men shake hands. Marcus tips his hat to the ladies.
Ladies.
The ladies curtsy in return. The barkeep pours Marcus a beer, which he drains quickly.
Marcus, here for the company or the booze?
Booze for now. Later, can you find me a girl with a more, friendly disposition? And Pariah, the last one, emptied my wallet and left me with nothing but a lick and a promise.
The barkeep refills Marcus's mug, and Marcus gestures for an additional one. 2 full mugs are placed on the bar.
That's pride for you.
Here in Sweetwater, we keep our promises.
Marcus leans in for a quick kiss.
I'll hold you to that, darling. Excuse me for a moment?
Of course.
Marcus crosses to the nearest poker table, a full mug of beer in each hand. He looks over a couple players' shoulders. He's unimpressed with the cards they hold and telegraphs it with his facial expression. Players on the other side of the table raise their bets in response. The players closest to Marcus notice the sudden change in their opponents and see Marcus standing behind them.
Say, ain't no cheating allowed in this establishment. You with them?
The player nods to indicate the players across the table.
No, sir. I gamble with my life, but never with my money.
Then would you kindly take a seat further off and stop hovering over our shoulders like a damn buzzard?
Nah, I don't think so.
Without warning, Marcus slams the mugs into the skulls of two players. He whoops in excitement as the rest of the poker players at the table join in the fight. Marcus breaks a chair over someone's back, then picks up a bottle and smashes it across another guy's face, who spits out a tooth. People minding their own business at other tables get hit with chairs and glasses. They join in the fray. Marcus flips a table over and punches one of the hapless bystanders sitting there. Then he rights the table again. Marcus jumps onto a table and grabs hold of the chandelier. He swings on it and kicks someone in the face. He jumps down from the chandelier, surveys the chaos, and thrusts both arms up in the air like he scored a touchdown.
I always wanted to do this.
As the full-on barroom brawl continues around him, Marcus laughs, a giant belly laugh. On his laugh, we cut to interior, banquet room, Mesa Hub, evening. Marcus laughs and applauds along with the crowd. Dinner dishes are cleared. Behind Lee Sizemore and the podium, oversized photos of the main characters stand on easels.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. We only have a few days together and it is time to start planning your own narrative experiences.
Damn, this is the best part of being a stakeholder. What other company gives you these perks?
For those of you who threw your hats into the ring for the special character lottery, it's time to draw names for tomorrow's adventures.
The crowd applauds. Some of them pull out tickets. Lee spins an antique roulette wheel. Sizemore gives it a spin.
Let the games begin.
The first ball falls into place.
28 black.
That's me,
The crowd applauds.
Fabulous. And who is your special character of choice?
Hector.
A host places a claimed banner over Hector's picture.
Right you are, madam. Tomorrow, Hector is yours.
The woman blushes furiously and titters to her table mates. Sizemore spins the wheel again. The ball drops into
6 black.
I won!
Good sir, pick your poison.
Armistice.
Ah, very poisonous indeed. Miss Armistice is now off the board, ladies and gents.
Sizemore spins the wheel again. The ball drops into
13 red.
That's mine.
Logan, late 60s, smiles winningly. The crowd applauds.
Excellent, sir. And your choice of character?
Logan looks pointedly at the man in black as he answers.
Dolores Abernathy.
The damsel in distress is officially taken.
The man in black puts his ticket in his pocket as he leaves.
I'd like to remind you that we will hold the lottery again each night, so hold on to your tickets. You'll have another chance at these characters tomorrow.
Logan sees the man in black leave, and he follows. Exterior, balcony, same time. The man in black looks out over the park. Logan joins him.
Hey, no hard feelings?
I wasn't aware you had feelings.
Glad to see you've really embraced your grumpy old man.
As opposed to never growing up at all.
Cheer up. After all, tomorrow is another day. You can have my sloppy seconds.
Logan slaps the man in black on the back as he leaves. Interior, train cabin, late afternoon. Teddy, 40s, rides the train to Sweetwater. A pair of gorgeous women, both mid-20s, eye him wantonly. One of them, Jane, stands and takes the seat opposite him.
Mind if I join you?
Oh, man.
You're Teddy, right? I've read about you. I'm Jane.
Nice to make your acquaintance, Jane.
Jane giggles and looks back at her friend. Her friend gestures, go on.
So, this is my first time to Sweetwater, and I was wondering if you might show me around.
Thanks, but I already have things I need to do when I get to town.
Jane slides a foot up the inside of Teddy's thigh.
You sure? I was planning on going back to my hotel first.
Teddy stops her foot's ascent with a hand.
You're a beautiful creature, Jane. There's no doubt of that, but I'm spoken for. Were it otherwise, I wouldn't hesitate.
Jane pulls her foot back angrily.
You're rejecting me? Can he even do that?
The friend shrugs and shakes her head. No idea.
Who cares? There are way hotter fish in the sea where we're going.
You're gonna regret this. I swear to God you will.
Teddy tries to apologize again, but Jane gets up and leaves, rejoining her friend without a backward glance. Exterior, Main Street, Sweetwater, later. Teddy walks down Main Street, headed toward the Mariposa. He bumps shoulders accidentally with a big gunslinger. They whirl on one another, poised to draw guns. When no one does, they tip their hats to one another in apology and walk on. As he gets closer to the Mariposa, Teddy spies Dolores, mid-20s, leaving the general store. She puts her groceries into her horse's saddlebag. One can falls out and rolls away. Teddy picks it up and hands it to her.
Don't mind me, just trying to be chivalrous.
You came back.
Told you I would.
Teddy hears the cock of a gun and whirls around, putting his body between the sound and Dolores.
So is this your spoken for girl? Her? When you could have had me?
Teddy takes his hand off the gun and puts his empty hands out in front of him.
Jane, put the gun down.
Or what? You're gonna shoot me? Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious.
Jane starts to move clockwise. Teddy counters her movement and walks toward her.
I'm not going to shoot you, Jane. Put the gun down and let's talk about this.
Jane drops her arm to her side. Teddy relaxes.
Jane, I'm real sorry for any hurt I caused you.
Dolores approaches Teddy, watching the scene unfold.
Yeah, me too.
Jane shoots Dolores in the chest. Dolores falls. Teddy catches her in his arms, and they both go to the ground.
Dolores? No! 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 No!
Jane stands over them both.
Told you you'd be sorry. I guess she is sort of pretty, up close.
Jane shoots Dolores in the face. Blood and bits of flesh splatter Teddy's face. He bursts into tears.
Oh, for fuck's sake, shut up.
Jane shoots Teddy in the face. Interior, Livestock Management, Lab, later. Felix, late 20s, examines Dolores' body, which lies on a gurney. Her ruined clothes are wadded up on a nearby table. Felix looks at her stats on a handheld tablet. Sylvester sneaks up behind him and reads over his shoulder.
Jesus, Felix, you're still not done?
I'll be done soon.
How about you'll be done now? Now is good.
Take a look at this.
Sylvester looks at the tablet.
So?
There is a significant lag between Dolores and the signal from HQ.
Again. So,
This is a big problem. If something goes wrong, she won't receive commands for at least 30, 40 seconds.
Big whoop. 30 seconds.
See how long it takes to crush someone's windpipe?
Yeah, like that's gonna happen.
Sylvester rips the tablet out of Felix's hand.
I need to report this.
Felix takes the tablet back.
And tell them what? That you've been monkeying around with behavior tablet you aren't even supposed to have?
Sylvester takes the tablet away again. Felix doesn't resist.
Clear her and send her to costuming. This isn't your problem.
Felix sighs, signs off on Dolores' chart, and returns it to her gurney. Sylvester sarcastically applauds.
Shut up, Sylvester.
Felix bags the ruined clothing and puts it on Dolores' legs. Sylvester laughs and pats Felix on the back as they leave. Interior, banquet hall, Mesa Hub, night. The man in black enters the banquet hall and spies Ford, who is busy attempting to calm down a couple of stakeholders. The conversation looks heated. He sees Stubbs and grabs his arm.
I need to talk to you
Yes, sir.
in private.
He pulls Stubbs out onto the balcony. The man in black confirms they're alone, pulls out his phone.
I was sent a video during dinner. Don't play it now. It shows me interacting with Dolores, from Dolores' point of view.
Who sent it?
Don't know. My people traced the number to a burner phone. There was a message.
He shows Stubbs the message on the phone. He reads it.
Jesus.
You're telling me.
May I borrow your phone?
I have another.
Stubbs reaches out to take the phone, but the man in black doesn't let it go.
Stubbs, if this gets out, it's not just my ass that's on the line. This would destroy everything Delos spent 30 years building. You know that, right?
Yes, sir. Without question.
The man in black lets the phone go. He turns his back on Stubbs without a word and returns to the banquet hall within. Interior hallway, executive living quarters, later. Stubbs urgently knocks on Theresa's door. She opens it, wearing a nightgown and robe despite it being early yet.
We have a problem. A big one.
Should we get Ford?
He's swarmed with stockholders right now.
I'll get Bernard then.
Have him meet us in Livestock.
Theresa nods and goes back inside. Theresa's apartment, bedroom. She enters her bedroom. Bernard, early 50s, lies in her bed, covered by a sheet.
Something wrong?
Apparently so, we're needed in Livestock.
Bernard throws back the covers and starts getting dressed. Interior, Livestock Management, lab, minutes later. Stubbs and Theresa use a datapad to pair up with a naked Dolores who lies on a gurney. Bernard Lowe, 50s, enters.
Please tell me you're joking.
Yeah, you're gonna love the punchline.
Stubbs pulls up the message that was sent with the video. Close up on phone message. We see it as Stubbs reads it aloud.
Unknown caller. I bet your daughter would love to see this, and your employees, beneficiaries, 50 million by the end of the retreat, where it goes public. More to follow.
Back to scene.
What's on the video?
Stubbs pushes a few buttons on the phone.
We can play it on the monitor.
Close on video. The video plays. We see and hear from Dolores' point of view as she is dragged into the barn on the Abernathy Ranch.
I have to say, over time, I think I developed a thing for bales of hay. Thanks to you.
Dolores screams and screams. The man in black rips her bodice open and pins her arms over her head. The man in black's face is in ecstasy as he enters her and begins to move his hips.
I think we get the picture.
Back to scene. Theresa turns the video off. The three of them look at each other in horrified silence. End Act 1. Act 2. Interior Livestock Management Lab, minutes later. Stubbs syncs up his datapad with Dolores. She sits up and swings her legs over the gurney's edge to face them.
What are we looking for in Dolores?
Any evidence of her memories being accessed and copied to another device or of being hacked?
There's no way the video could have been transferred out of the park?
Correct. No satellite in the world can reach down this far, and our network won't allow for file transfers of this size.
Won't allow them out? Apparently lets them be transferred around within the park and Mesa facility.
Point taken.
What about a manual download? Take it out of the park the old-fashioned way?
On hard media? Would that be possible?
Bernard reaches out to touch. Close on Dolores' left forearm. Her hand. And turns it so he can see her inner arm. It's perfect. He feels around for and finds the antenna inside, which matches the one in Peter Abernathy. It's still intact. Back to scene.
The floor is open. Any thoughts?
Getting hard media out of the park would be easy enough. Any cell phone, laptop.
But how would the file get downloaded to another device in the first place?
Bernard takes the datapad from Stubbs' hand.
There's an audit trail. We can see what files have been accessed, copied, or downloaded. Is there a time code on that video?
Stubbs looks at the phone.
It appears to be from yesterday, around 2200 hours.
Her memory's been wiped since then.
Yes, but the audit trail reports are archived to the server and kept indefinitely.
Close on, datapad. We see a file directory which shows the files as audit trails. Nothing looks out of the ordinary.
No unauthorized access, no downloads, no copies made.
Instead of a download, what if a separate recording was made?
What, like hacking into her?
Wouldn't even have to do that. Just hijack her feed back to us and record it.
Get the files as they're being written.
Then just pack it away in your carry-on.
We need an AMRI run on her as soon as possible, just to rule out tampering on the inside.
Bernard types on the datapad. Stubbs gives Theresa a head nod, and the two step away from Bernard to talk semi-privately.
I need access to the stakeholders' personal profiles.
What for?
This footage was recorded yesterday.
And?
I need updated background checks on everyone here. Who's having financial problems, who's bought or sold stock recently.
They'll have it by the time you get back to control.
Stubbs nods his thanks and heads for the door. Theresa types on her cell phone as she heads back to Bernard.
I need to tell Ford.
I'm going with you.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Interior banquet hall, Mesa hub, minutes later. At a table, Marcus laughs with some other guests.
You didn't put your name in for the raffle.
No, ma'am. I thought I prefer to choose your own adventure-style narrative.
Nice accent. Are we sure he's not one of them?
If I was one of them, I'd be at least 4 inches taller and have six-pack abs.
Everyone laughs. Bernard and Theresa enter the room and head for Ford. He sees their approach and excuses himself from his conversation.
There's been a breach.
A video?
Theresa and Bernard look at one another, shocked.
Yes, how did you...
That's 3, then. 3 videos. Thus far, I'll send you the names and copies of all videos.
Ford pulls out a datapad and begins to type.
I take it you have this issue well in hand? Yes, sir. We're running advanced diagnostics on one of the key hosts now. We'll keep you posted. Good man.
Ford pats Bernard on the back as he turns. He's pulled aside by yet another upset stakeholder.
That looks like maybe video number 4. This is insane.
We need a better plan.
Stubbs is running background checks on all the stakeholders. Since the main confirmed data point we have is Dolores, we can follow her, see where she goes.
Good. I can analyze different videos, see if there might be metadata we can use.
I'll have Stubbs pull a surveillance tech to follow her in the morning.
Interior train cabin morning. The next morning, Teddy rides the train to Sweetwater. A now rugged-looking Marcus sits in front of him. He turns back.
Don't suppose you might have an extra brain tablet on you?
Teddy pulls out a leather pouch and retrieves a rolling paper and tobacco. He rolls a cigarette and hands it to Marcus.
Much obliged.
Marcus tips his hat, faces forward, and lights up. Over Teddy's shoulder, we see Candace, a surveillance tech, dressed in Western duds. She talks quietly into an ear mic.
Wouldn't it be easier to follow Teddy?
Interior control room, same time.
A guest is going to interrupt that narrative.
Do we know who?
Intercut phone conversation.
We do, actually. Thanks to the choose-your-own-narrative shit.
And?
It's not good, but it's perfect for our purposes.
Exterior, Main Street, Sweetwater, same time. Maeve walks from her hotel toward the Mariposa. The snake oil salesman is back, putting on his makeshift show.
Now, folks, I'm only going to be in town for a few more days, and then I'll have to make my way toward Pariah. But I'll tell you, this here elixir imported from Cathay is going to be the single best decision you make in your entire lives.
He's interrupted by a young man, 20s, on a makeshift crutch.
I'll take it. I need something for my leg.
Step right up, young man. Folks, we might be able to witness a miracle this very day, one I have witnessed many times before.
Maeve passes them by and walks into the Mariposa. She joins Clementine at the bar.
Hey, darling.
Morning, Maeve.
Late night talking or fucking? I'm only paying you for the latter.
I get paid when they're grateful. Ain't always what's between my legs.
A beautiful woman, Melody, 30s, descends the stairs in a corset and skirt, her legs exposed. She sees Clem and Maeve, beams and waves, then makes her way to the bar.
Your new girl was early. I got her set up in the new room.
Maeve reaches out her hands towards Melody. She takes them.
Melody, you look lovely, sweetheart. Take a turn for me.
Melody spins in place, showing off the lovely corset and skirts she borrowed from Clem.
You think so, ma'am?
Oh, I know so. You are unforgettable, and I'm something of an expert on these things.
The ladies giggle. Maeve waves to the bartender to set up shots for the 3 ladies. Melody looks round the room, assessing the patrons.
Shall I join the card game?
Patience, darling. The regulars are completely spoiled and lose their money faster than they can earn it.
Maeve hands Clem and Melody each a shot and picks up her own.
Ladies, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Here, here.
They clink glasses and down the shots. Exterior, Main Street, Sweetwater, same time. Dolores walks from the general store to her horse, and she drops a can of milk on the ground. It rolls into the feet of Logan, his posse of bad guy hosts behind him.
Well, well, well. You still just as pretty as a picture?
Logan offers the can out to Dolores, but when she reaches to take it, he pulls it up over her head and out of her reach, then loops an arm around her waist, pulling her close. From behind him, he hears,
The lady doesn't appear interested.
Logan whirls around, pulling Dolores with him. He tucks his jacket behind his gun, exposing it. Teddy does the same.
Try it. You might get the draw on me, you might not, but I'd say your odds.
A gunshot. A bullet hole appears in Teddy's chest. He turns around and sees Marcus holding the smoking gun. The cigarette Teddy gave him still dangles from his lips. Marcus blows at the smoke tendrils rising from the gun barrel like a douche who's seen too many westerns. Teddy sinks to the ground. Dolores, screaming, pulls from Logan and rushes to his side.
Much obliged.
Marcus tips his hat to Logan and smiles knowingly. He gestures to Dolores.
Don't do nothing I wouldn't do.
They both laugh. Logan ties Dolores' wrists and throws her over the front of his saddle. The posse rides away. Candace waits, then follows at a distance on horseback. Interior, Mariposa Saloon, same time. The doors to the Mariposa swing open as Marcus enters. He spies Melody immediately and approaches her.
Whiskey, and another for the lady.
You certainly have my attention, mister.
Marcus.
Melody.
That's a pretty name. Any chance of getting to hear you sing, Melody?
Melody reaches down and strokes the front of Marcus's pants. She's not disappointed.
Think you can make me sing, Marcus?
Oh, I know I can.
I'm calling that bet.
Melody smiles wickedly, downs her drink, and takes Marcus by the hand. She leads him to the stairs up to the bedrooms. On the stairs, she stops, turns to face him, then kisses him.
Girl, you better get on up them stairs before I take you right here.
Melody giggles. Marcus picks her up, throws her over his shoulder, and carries her the rest of the way up the stairs.
I'll be back soon, ma'am. I give it, 5 minutes?
Marcus spanks her. She giggles again.
Left. My room's to the left.
Marcus takes Melody off towards the rooms on the left. Interior, Bernard's office, same time. Bernard has 5 monitors up, each with a different image paused on the screen. He cues up another as Theresa enters.
Any luck?
Some. I've been able to identify some of the hosts that have been recorded. Maeve, Clementine, and Dolores, of course.
Theresa takes in the monitors.
How many videos total?
4.
Bernard points to a screen with each reference.
This is Maeve's feed, recording Philip Guthrie. Clementine's #1 here. This is showing Jackson Montgomery.
The senator, great.
And this is Clementine #2, James Cabot.
All male targets with female hosts.
So far,
Any other commonalities?
all different device IDs except for the 2 Clementine videos. Those were captured with the same device. The messages were sent from different burner phones, though.
That's going to get expensive.
Only if he doesn't pay off. 50,000 a pop will pay for a lot of phones.
Point taken. What about the content?
All is sexual and violent. Guess there's more money in that than a boring sex tape.
I'll head up to the retreat, see what I can find out there.
Bernard nods, then goes back to examining the video. Theresa exits. Exterior, open plains later. Logan and his posse are having their way with Dolores. At a distance, Candace sits with her back to a large boulder. She views a data pad. Her hands and voice shake. Intercut walkie-talkie conversation.
Still no signal.
Candace, you okay out there?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
You been in the field before?
Yes, but never with anything like this.
Her sentiments are punctuated with Dolores' screams, which reach a crescendo and are suddenly silenced.
She won't remember a thing.
No, but he will. That shit's going right in the spank bank. What kind of person does that?
He comes here to do that because it isn't real.
It sounded real enough to me.
Just hold your position. They're gonna ride past you, but I doubt they'll see you.
Shit!
They're gonna ride right on
The horses gallop past, no backwards glances from the riders.
by.
Candace watches them leave for a moment, then stands.
If there's a recorder anywhere, I'm not picking it up.
There's no one else in your sector. Go examine the body.
Okay.
Candace walks over to what moments before had been Dolores, and now is a bloody, ugly mess. She winces.
Focus, Candace. The sooner you collect the data, the sooner you can get out of there.
Right.
Candace walks around the perimeter, aiming her data pad as a sensor. It produces a soft beeping. As she gets closer to Dolores, it gets louder.
There's something here. She must be right on top of it.
She scans the crown of Dolores' head. As she moves down the body, it gets louder and louder, till at the hem of Dolores' gown, it produces a loud single tone. Candace pats down the skirt and feels a soft bump. She flips the hem over, exposing the underskirt. She feels along the underskirt hemline and finds a distinct bulge.
This is it. It's a transmitter, sewn into the lining of her dress.
Great work, Candace.
I'm gonna cut it out and bring it back.
She pulls out a knife from her boot.
No, don't do that yet. Let's leave the carrot on the stick for a while.
Candace looks back in the direction of Logan and his gang.
You sure about that?
This is the only lead we have. We may not get another.
Candace returns her knife to her boot and goes to her horse.
So who would have had enough time with Dolores to sew a transmitter into her dress and not get noticed?
Interior control room, same time. As we hear the question, Stubbs notices a couple of behavioral techs talking across the room.
That's the $64,000 question.
The what?
Never mind. Come back to base. Dolores will get picked up soon.
I'm on my way.
Stubbs pulls out his cell phone and makes a call.
Is this Theresa?
It's Stubbs. We've made some progress on the Dolores thing.
Interior banquet room, Mesa hub, same time.
We have a bigger problem right now.
Bigger than this?
Intercut phone conversation.
Possibly.
What do you need?
Can you head to the Mariposa? I've already sent out a team.
Should I change it to park appropriate first?
No, there's no time.
No.
Stubbs puts his phone away and leaves the control room. End Act 2. Act 3. Interior, banquet room, mesa hub, same time. Theresa joins Dr. Ford, who is talking to the man in black.
All this incredible tech, and you have nothing? I find that hard to believe. Theresa, we were just discussing the investigation.
We are making progress, but that is all we are able to say at the moment.
Need I remind you, the clock is ticking. This breach of security affects us as much as it affects you. I'm glad that fact hasn't escaped you. I assure you, the video will not see the light of day outside of this place.
The man in black is about to snap back with a retort, but thinks better of it and walks away.
How are you going to do that?
Do what?
Ensure that the videos won't get out.
We'll pay for them, of course.
The board will never approve that.
The board suggested it. Charlotte Hale is procuring the funds as we speak.
Is that wise to pay them off?
Is it wise not to? Someone as clever as that, I'm deeply curious to find, but we cannot risk missing the deadline.
Ford starts to walk away. Theresa calls after him.
Wait, there's another issue I need to brief you on.
As Ford starts to return, a livid stakeholder stops him. Where the stakeholder can't see, Ford raises a hand with all 5 fingers splayed. Video number 5. Theresa nods and exits. Interior, Mariposa Saloon, same time. In the bar area of the Mariposa, a woman screams, cuts through the noise. All noise but the player piano stops as the hosts immediately drop what they're doing to listen. Several hosts rush up the stairs. This is their Good Samaritan reflex overriding all their other commands. The screams get louder, then stop abruptly. They throw open the door to Melody's upstairs bedroom. And inside, Marcus is on top of Melody, who is badly bloodied. He chokes her with both hands as they are mid-coitus. She reaches a hand towards the hosts, pleading. The hosts are frozen momentarily, no movement as they try to assess the situation. Then the barkeep grabs Marcus, but he takes an elbow to the face and is knocked out cold.
The fuck is this? Get out!
Marcus turns his attention back to Melody. He starts moving his hips into hers as he squeezes her throat. Melody struggles for breath and claws at Marcus's eyes. He slugs her. 2 hosts grab at Marcus's arms and yank him off her. He pulls a derringer out of his boot and shoots them both in the face. Melody is on all fours, having crawled to Clementine and Maeve. Clem kneels in front of her, protectively blocking Marcus from her. Maeve stands and points a shotgun at Marcus.
Drop the gun.
Nobody tells me what to do in my place, sweetheart.
Maeve pulls the trigger. It's a clear hit to the stomach, which knocks him back a few feet, but that's it. Maeve pulls the trigger again. Another direct hit, but no damage. Marcus pulls 2 guns from his discarded gun belt. He kills Maeve and Clementine. Then he swings around and shoots the few remaining hosts. He smiles as he turns back to Melody.
Finally, alone again.
No, wait, please.
Come on, darling. Didn't your daddy ever tell you if you climb in the saddle, be ready for the ride?
Marcus pulls Melody to her feet and spins her so her back is to him. He picks up a silk stocking, loops it around her neck, and pulls. Only Melody's toes touch the floor. Interior, 1st floor, Mariposa Saloon, same time. A group of technicians enter and head for the stairs, some in black technical clothing, some in white rubberized suits. Interior, upstairs bedroom, Mariposa Saloon, same time. Melody claws at her neck, then at Marcus's face. Marcus smiles as he pulls his face away. Melody's eyes go wider. As the technicians enter the doorway, Melody sees them. Then her arms drop to her sides, and she slumps to the floor. A technician drops a bag of medical supplies, shocked. They stand there gape-mouthed. Stubbs arrives and pushes his way in past the technicians and assesses the scene.
Don't just stand there, help her.
2 techs rush to Melody, check her vitals, and start CPR.
Mr. Merrick, I need you to go with these men.
Marcus, bewildered, looks around at the scene. CPR continues on Melody as rubber-suited guys carry out the other hosts.
Did I do something wrong?
Stubbs turns Marcus towards the door and ushers him out.
Not to worry, Mr. Merrick. It will all be straightened out in no time.
2 of Stubbs' tactical guys each take an elbow.
Please escort Mr. Merrick to his suite at Mesa. The head of QA and I will talk with you later this evening.
The techs lead a bewildered Marcus out of the room. The EMTs have stopped CPR and called it. Melody is dead.
Sir, isn't she one of ours?
Stubbs closes her eyelids.
Definitely not. Take her to cold storage till we can talk to her family.
The tech nods, pulls a sheet off the bed and covers Melody. Interior ballroom, evening. A video is projected onto a screen behind Theresa.
It is my pleasure to again introduce the head of narrative, Mr. Lee Sizemore.
The audience applauds politely.
Thank you, Theresa. Distinguished guests, in an effort to expand on our existing revenue streams, Strategy charged me with the developing something completely revolutionary.
The screen behind him shifts to show an elderly woman smiling in Western wear in front of a homesteader house.
For some of us, our need for escapism is not rooted in fantasy and risk-taking, but instead from a basic human need for connection.
The video pulls back to see a more westernized residential area, a modern suburb, but with an Old West style.
Without disease and illness, most of us will live to be centenarians. When we studied the metadata regarding guests who frequent the park, we discovered that there is an entire target audience we are not engaging at present.
The video pulls back more and shows the entrance of the town.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you remembrance.
And now we see a sign over the main gate, Remembrance.
This is not so much a narrative as it is a living history. No boring, sterile environment for our aging loved ones. Instead, we give them the retirement home of a lifetime.
The video shows many elderly people in Western wear inhabiting the town. It looks like Sweetwater, but wholesome.
We have a beta site running now, a colony of 20 residents. God willing and the creek don't rise, we expect to open it to the general public within the next 5 years.
The video expands to show young, attractive hosts running the town and interacting with the elderly residents.
Loved ones in their 80s and beyond have worked hard their whole lives. Give them the retirement they've earned at remembrance.
We see an elderly couple sitting together on a bench under a tree, holding hands and looking at one another tenderly as the sun sets over a gorgeous prairie. The audience applauds.
And with that, it looks like dinner is served. Enjoy.
Sizemore steps down from the podium and exits as hosts begin the dinner service. Interior, Theresa's office, later. There's a knock at the door. Theresa and Stubbs both stand.
Come in.
Marcus opens the door, now cleaned up and in street clothes, but still bewildered and embarrassed.
Mr. Merrick, thank you for joining us. My apologies for cutting your time in the park short.
Theresa gestures for Marcus to sit in the chair opposite her desk and next to Stubbs.
I want to assure you that what happened in the park today...
Yes, what exactly happened in the park today?
There was a glitch with the Good Samaritan programming in the house at Mariposa.
A glitch. That's a pretty big fucking glitch. They could have killed me.
I assure you, people cannot be harmed by any of the hosts or by any of the firing weapons, no matter who operates them.
Remembering the day's events, Marcus rubs his stomach where the shotgun blast hit him.
The hosts are programmed to step in to protect guests when in danger. However, it appears these hosts were confused and attempted to protect Melody as if she were human.
You're saying she wasn't human?
No, Mr. Merrick, she was not real.
But if she wasn't real, why didn't some of your people try CPR on her?
Teresa's jaw drops, but she recovers and turns to Stubbs.
Melody is a newer host. Today was her first day on the floor. Given the rest of the Mariposa staff were trying to protect her, I and my team assumed incorrectly that she was human.
Marcus is visibly relieved.
That whole thing scared the shit out of me.
This is an unprecedented accident, Mr. Merrick, for which we are exceptionally sorry.
You're sure she wasn't real?
We have a clinical psychologist on staff if you would like to talk to someone.
No, that won't be necessary.
Teresa hands him a clipboard with paperwork and a pen.
Our psychologist can visit you privately in your room at any time, and he's licensed to prescribe medications if you find you need something to help you sleep.
What's all this?
It's your original non-disclosure agreement. Whenever there's an incident at the park, we ask for the guests to initial their signatures to confirm they understand the terms.
Marcus is suspicious, but he initials the document and hands it back to Teresa.
Would you like to have a different choose-your-own-narrative experience created for you?
No, I think I'm good with that.
Mr. Stubbs will escort you back to your suite.
That won't be necessary.
All three stand. Marcus exits.
Well,
We'll have to wait and see. Have surveillance keep an eye on and make sure nothing else goes sideways.
Stubbs nods, then exits the office. End Act 3. Act 4. Exterior, Main Street, Sweetwater, morning. The man in black leaves the train platform and walks down Main Street. He's almost run over by a stagecoach that pulls up to the McIntyre Shipping and Freight Building. As it passes him, he sees the company name across the top, Overland Stagecoach Company, and the logo on the door, the Maze. The messenger, 20s, is busy pulling out mail bags from the main cabin when he hears the hammer pulled back on a gun. He turns to face the man in black holding him at gunpoint.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm gonna need you to climb back up there and throw down your strongbox.
Ain't got a strongbox this trip, Mr. Strictly Mail Service.
The man in black shoots the ground in front of the messenger's boots, missing his foot by inches.
Whoa! Don't shoot the messenger.
That's what I love about this place. Still surprises me. The strongbox. Now.
The messenger climbs up top.
You're gonna have to climb up here with me and shoot the lock off. They bolted these boxes to the roof after a few too many,
The man in black climbs up after him. He looks nervously at the man in black, who seems calm and not likely to shoot him.
losses.
The messenger throws back a canvas tarp to reveal a locked strongbox. The man in black examines the lock.
And you don't have a key?
I'd unlocked it for you already if I did.
The man in black smiles. He draws his gun and shoots the lock. It comes apart easily. He opens the box. Inside is a large rolled-up parchment. He unrolls it and reveals an architectural schematic of the town of Escalante. There's a church, a graveyard, and an indication of something underneath the church.
What is this?
The messenger looks at the paper.
Don't look like anything to me.
The man in black nods and rolls up the paper as he steps down from the stagecoach. When it's clear the man in black has walked away without taking any of the mail bags, the messenger collapses in a heap with a sigh of relief. Interior, Theresa's office, night. Theresa lays out some papers for Stubbs and Sizemore.
Gas-killing guests? Unreal.
Her fantasy was to be a lady of the evening at the Mariposa.
Sizemore nods.
Really?
What's wrong with that?
Stubbs shrugs.
Don't judge her. She's a sweet lady.
Was a sweet lady.
This has a jarring effect on Sizemore.
Did she have anyone here with her for the week?
No, she came alone.
I can send someone back with the body if we don't want to have the next of kin come all the way down.
I'll do it.
You.
Theresa considers it.
No, we need you here.
I'll do it on my next rotation out then.
Since when do you care about the guests?
Sizemore looks away, averting his eyes.
I don't. I only care about this one.
Fine. Just be back before the board arrives. Right now we need to decide what to tell the family, the media, and most importantly, Mr. Merrick.
We have contacts. Couldn't we just keep it out of the media?
Possibly, but we have to plan for the worst.
We don't have to tell them the same thing. The family and the other guest.
That simplifies things.
The easiest thing to tell Merrick is that she was a host.
Why would he believe that?
Because he'll want to. I'm a student of human nature. He will want desperately to believe this was just some kind of computer fuck-up.
Can we use that?
On the tape, the hosts all look like they just froze up and then ganged up on them.
Theresa nods, considering this.
I like it. If we can keep it out of the press, it works. Autopsy?
Cause of death, strangulation. Bruising on the neck and behind the ears. Petechial hemorrhages in the eyes.
Theresa puts her head in her hands.
Great. What can we do with that?
Believably?
Stubbs shakes his head.
Can we burn the body? Say she fell off a horse or over a cliff? Come on, narrative. Think outside the box.
Fuck me, this is my problem now?
Since you set up her little adventure for her, yes. You get to write the ending.
Sizemore looks like he's been slapped across the face. He sits back and sulks.
Or do you really want her family, her mother, her kids, to know how she actually died? When they shut their eyes deep, how do you want them to see her?
This gets Sizemore's attention. His ideas come out in a rush.
She did the gold rush scenario in the mountains. She rode her horse along the path and strayed too close to the edge. The ground beneath her gave way.
So she slid down the side of the mountain. Hard to prove otherwise.
And the body?
It hasn't been that long. Take her back up, toss her down the mountain.
And if we wait to collect her, the rigor mortis will blend it all together. Good job.
I didn't do it for you.
Theresa nods in understanding. Sizemore leaves the room. Once they're alone,
What did you find in the background checks?
A whole lot of nothing. There are a couple of newer stakeholders. We've been to the park a couple of times. One of them got the company stock in her divorce settlement.
Interesting.
I redid the background checks on our employees. None are in financial trouble, but that's not a surprise. They hardly have anything to spend their money on until they rotate out.
It's gotta be an employee.
there's a knock on the door.
Can I?
Bernard enters.
Am I interrupting?
Not at all. I was just leaving.
Stubbs exits and closes the door. Bernard whirls on Theresa.
When were you going to tell me about the incident at the Mariposa?
I've told you before, it's not your job to diagnose park safety problems, it's mine.
I have a right to know when a host goes off loop.
A host didn't go off loop.
Bernard hesitates.
Sorry. No?
Not this time. The hosts all followed their programming.
So, what happened?
Barney, I promise you don't want to know.
Bernard nods slowly, reluctantly accepting Theresa's answer. Interior, banquet room, Mesa Hub. Dream sequence. Interior, exterior, Maeve's homestead, day. Series of shots. Maeve walks hand in hand with her daughter, 6, in a field near her home. Maeve is on her knees, struggling to keep a native of Ghost Nation from scalping her. The native is shot. She runs. Maeve and her daughter barricade themselves in their house. The man in black enters. The man in black stabs Maeve. She pulls the knife out as he watches, dumbfounded at her will to live. End dream sequence. Interior, Maeve's bedroom, morning, same time. Maeve awakens with a start, recognizes her surroundings, and relaxes a bit. After a moment, she throws the covers back and gets out of bed. Exterior, Main Street, Sweetwater. Maeve walks out from the hotel to the Mariposa Saloon. Behind her, 2 gunslingers shoot one another dead. She's unfazed.
Miss Millay?
Maeve turns around to see Sheriff Reed approaching her.
Good morning, Sheriff Reed.
Morning. I was coming to call on you. It's the first of the month.
Maeve rolls her eyes in frustration.
Do you have any halfway decent deputies this month? Or have they all fled Sweetwater after hearing Hector Escaton's back in Pariah?
Maeve digs around in her satchel.
Don't you worry about my deputies. They're trained up and raring to go.
They better be for what I'm paying you.
She pulls out a bag of coins and places it in his hands.
Much obliged, man.
Maeve turns her back on the sheriff and quickens her pace. As she steps onto the porch of the Mariposa, she bumps into the man in black. She is stunned, momentarily unable to speak or process. The man in black tips his hat to her.
My apologies, Maeve. Please forgive me my trespasses.
He moves on past her. She watches him go. Flashback, interior, Homestead House, day. The man in black shoots Maeve's daughter. She screams. End flashback. Exterior, Mariposa Saloon, same time. Maeve looks around frantically for the man in black, but he is long gone. She shakes it off and enters the Mariposa and takes her place at the bar. Teddy drinks his whiskey. The bartender sets up a shot for Maeve, but she doesn't notice. She's still shaken. Teddy notices.
Don't tell me you've given up drinking since I've been gone.
Maeve snaps her head towards him with an angry look. She leans in close and whispers.
These violent delights have violent ends.
Teddy is taken aback at hearing this and can make no reply. Maeve turns her back on him and leaves the bar area. End Act 4. Act 5. Interior, cold storage, later. Sylvester and Felix ready Melody's body to be shipped home. True to the plan, she's been thrown down the side of a mountain, and her body shows it, as does the smell.
Christ, what are they gonna tell her family?
Anything but the truth.
Sylvester zips the body bag closed, as they inventory her personal effects and check them off on a clipboard.
Tell me about your world.
My world? My world was turned upside down and shaken hard when my husband left me.
Flashback. Interior, private office, day. Sizemore and Melody meet to discuss her private narrative.
12 years. It broke me, but the pieces are good. I'm putting them back together.
End flashback. Interior, monorail car, underground station, day. Marcus, in regular street clothes, sits in a window seat. He has a haunted, weary look.
I used to hate this place. I only forced him to give me a stake in the company to take it away from him.
Marcus gets a text message from his wife. How was your trip? Are you on your way home? He writes a reply, deletes it, tries again, deletes it. He gives up and pockets his phone. Interior, body shop, same time. A technician named Derek, mid-20s, finishes the repairs on Dolores' face. He admires his work. She is again flawless.
But then I spent some time here on my own, and it was so freeing. I'm just looking for a place to be free, to be my whole self, with unlimited possibilities.
Derek's cell phone goes off. He pulls it out and it displays a notification. Wire transfer, $250 million. He looks around to see if anyone has noticed. No one has. He pulls the transmitter out of his pocket, then returns it. Interior, Theresa's bedroom, same time. Bernard and Theresa make love slowly, exploring one another.
What is it you're hoping to experience in your personal narrative?
I want to remember what it's like to be wanted by someone, to be seductive, attractive, Sometimes all it takes is one chance encounter to change the whole course of your life.
Interior, Ford's remote diagnostic facility, same time. Ford watches a tracer program run on a data pad. It beeps. The trace is complete. He looks at the result, and it shows a lab location in livestock.
As I'm working out the kinks in whatever this new world is going to be, I trust that things will work out the way they're meant to.
Flashback. Interior, private office, day. Sizemore exhibits unusual vulnerability, and he takes one of Melody's hands in his.
Melody, I can tell you objectively, in case you've forgotten, you are an incredibly attractive woman.
Melody's eyes well up with tears, a sharp intake of breath through the nose.
I promise you, this is your new world. And in this world, you can be whoever the fuck you want.
Thank you.
Melody squeezes Sizemore's hand. He squeezes back. She picks up a pen and signs a release form for her personal narrative. End flashback. Interior, body shop, later. Derek dresses Dolores in a brand new costume. Out of habit, he flips up the underskirt's hem, but there's nothing there.
Dolores, my love, you're good to go. Tuck yourself in and sleep tight.
She favors Derek with a smile and a nod.
Good night.
Dolores curtsies as she leaves. Derek dabs at the sweat on his brow with his sleeve. He looks around again. He's alone. He picks up Dolores' soiled, bloody clothing, puts it in a paper bag, and drops it into a bin labeled Incinerate. He picks up his things, takes off his lab coat, and swaps it for his jacket. Eyes straight ahead, he moves down the hall. As he turns a corner, he runs straight into Dr. Ford. A host named Hector, 30s, is with him. Derek's eyes go wide, mouth agape.
Mr. Derek Weber, I presume. I trust to receive my wire transfer?
Derek's face is all the confession Ford needs. Hector restrains him with his arms. Ford takes Derek's cell phone out of his pocket and flips to the banking app that shows the wire transfer.
Ah, I see that you did. Let's reverse that, shall we?
Ford takes the phone with him and walks away. As he leaves, Hector takes Derek's head in his hands and slams it violently against a glass wall. Derek slumps to his knees.
Wait, Mr. Ford, please!
Hector snaps his neck. Derek falls face first to the floor, eyes open. Hector drags him by his heels out of view. End of episode.